What is up? Welcome back to another Credit Cards News live stream. I'm Cal Barton. It's nice to see everybody here in the chat. We got OW, Miss Barton, Danny Boy, what's up as always? And we got Mr. Clausen. How you doing? Michael Bates, I see you as well. So we have a lot to get into this weekend because we have news from AMEX. A lot of news about the intra bonus changes that are going on for the worse. And then Capital One, I have a story about Capital One where someone was able to get a $15,000 credit limit increase after 10 years of waiting for one. So that's going to be interesting. First, let's get into the first story here. So Mastercard partners with Instacart and Peacock. All right. Mastercard has formed partnerships with Instacart and Peacock, offering benefits to eligible cardholders. For Instacart, World Mastercard and Elite Mastercard users new to Instacart Plus will receive a 2-month free trial and $10 off of their second eligible monthly purchase. They'll also enjoy perks like waived delivery fees. They'll get those waived delivery fees and on certain orders and credits on eligible pickup orders. Peacock offers eligible cardholders a $3 statement credit for Peacock Premium and a $5 credit for Peacock Premium Plus. Cardholders will also gain access to priceless experiences related to NBC Universe's shows and studios, as well as BravoCon. And this collaboration is particularly valuable for frequent Instacart users and those interested in Peacock streaming services. So a lot of people don't really know this, but you can get benefits on a credit card company, credit card issuer level, and on a payment processor level. A lot of people don't understand that there's multiple levels to creating a credit card system. So you're issued the card, for example, the Chase Sapphire preferred card is issued by Chase, and then the payment processor that they use is going to be, I believe, it's Visa. So in that case, there's going to be a whole bunch of, that's the network that the transaction is going to go through, and that payment processor is going to be able to give additional, benefits and features. If then it's usually going to be to a lesser degree, but they kind of have that deal worked out where the payment processor will add additional features. Now, the next story is FNBO to launch Universal Studios credit card. So FNBO, which is the first National Bank of Omaha, and Universal Destinations and Experiences are partnering to introduce a Universal Rewards Plus Visa Signature card set to launch in 2024, so next year. And so when you see that Visa Signature, usually that's going to indicate that's going to be a minimum starting limit of $5,000 in most cases. It's going to start at least $5,000. This card will provide cardholders with exclusive benefits, including special offers on food, merchandise, and experiences at Universal theme parks, along with access to VIP lounge. This is going to be this is kind of like a store card because it's going to be very focused in on, customers of Universal. Now, in the past, FNBO was really a good recommendation for me to throw out because they would allow people from nationwide to join their bank. And then the good thing about FNBO is that they would typically show you your starting limit before approval. But lately, as in the last like a year and a half, they've been really their FNBO issued cards have only been offered to has been geofenced. So it's only been if you'd only have the ability to get approved for those cards if you're in their marketing area. And so if you're in their geographical footprint, and I believe that's in 11 states, and that's going to be in like the Midwest. But unfortunately, they're not available nationwide. A lot of people don't understand that these banks can make different decisions and take their business in different directions. And so sometimes you'll see something like PenFed, that's a credit union. It's like the second largest credit union in America. They can open up their membership nationwide, which they did in the last year or so. And then others might take it and restrict their membership as well. So you can go in both directions. Next, we have Wells Fargo Autograph Card will get points transfers. So Wells Fargo is introducing a new redemption option for its autograph card. That's great because I have one. If you got an autograph card, put an A in the comment section. That's actually a sneaky good card, which earns 3x points on various categories and currently offers a 30,000 points bonus. That's equivalent to about $300 in cash value. I see you, Matt Clausen. You got an autograph card. I need to use mine more, honestly. So starting from November 15th of this year, cardholders will have the ability to transfer their points to participating partner loyalty programs. This feature will apply to points-based credit cards like the Wells Fargo Autograph Card and not cashback cards like the Wells Fargo Active Cash. That's unfortunate because I know that's a pretty, you know, recommended card, and I'm sure a lot of their customers have that particular card. Now, details about eligible partner programs have not been disclosed yet, and the announcement was made in the monthly statement of Wells Fargo Autograph Card. Now, this is good if you are a travel focused person. You know, myself, I'm not, but I know a lot of people really, they love you love your Amex Golds, you love, your Chase Sapphire Preferred cards with your Ultimate Rewards and membership rewards points. So this could be good for you. It'd be another avenue to accumulate points and potentially get better redemption values when you're transferring to those airline partners and their hotel partners. So this is a step in a good direction for Wells Fargo. They need more updates like this. They really do. So if you want your player two, this is P2, player two to help you accumulate points, this is what this person recommended. So he says, not sure if a different post is needed for this, but since a lot of people have player twos, so player two would be like, a spouse, a partner, or, somebody in your household who's helping you earn points. It says, number one, don't just instruct your player two to use Saver One for Uber or Chase Freedom Flex or Built for Lyft. Take the time out to add those cards to their Uber or Lyft account. So you want to do the work for them. All right. You want to basically not involve them in the decision making process. Just go ahead and add those cards to their default payment method on those apps. Number two, don't overcomplicate or overwhelm them. You are an expert in managing cards, but they are not. So patiently teach them how to manage multiple cards. Okay, so this kind of contradicts the first point, but it says just be patient, be an instructor, be a teacher, right? And number three, be available as much as you can. Let them know that if they get confused as to what card to use, you will be available to assist them. Okay, so just be someone to lean on, a person of great knowledge and intellect. Number four, ask them to take unnecessary cards out of their wallet. If you're not using Chase Freedom Flex for a quarter, take it out of their options. Number five, make them a part of the redemption journey. Demonstrate how you are able to book a free hotel stay with all of your Chase points are similar. How many guys and girls have a player two that you're working with? How many have a player two that usually what I do in my situation is I just give my wife one card. And so that's like the highest flat rate earning card. Right now, it's going to be the X1 card because it's the only way that I'm able to um, it's the only way that I'm able to capitalize on all the referrals because a lot of people like the X1 card because it shows your starting credit limit before approval. And so, a lot of people like to sign up for that card. Now it gives you like, you know, 3, 4, 5, 10x back when you do that. And it's a good catch-all card, just a general spending card I use for that purpose. But I'm curious, how many people are actually coordinating and working with a significant other or, a family member to earn these rewards points? Next, consumers grow unhappy with credit card perks as they spend at record levels. So credit card rewards top the list of what consumers are the least satisfied with. According to the JD Power this year, US credit card satisfaction report, the dissatisfaction stems from rewards earned per dollar spent, especially among cashback cardholders. Cardholders paying $500 or more in annual fees said they were less happy with the rewards and benefits offered by their credit cards because of the unreasonable fees they paid. And so, for example, airline cardholders said they were highly satisfied with rewards and benefits, but were less impressed with their card terms. Additionally, the search for better rewards programs was the primary reason why consumers switched card providers in the last 12 months. And listen, this is exactly why I am pretty anti-annual fee because the annual fees, it forces you to use that card and extract value. Like it's putting that that force, and it basically you're chained, you're shackled to that card to use it to actually get the value from it. There's none of those forces are there when you have a no annual fee card. It's just pure profit. And my only annual fee card is going to be Capital and Venture X because it's so easy uh, to redeem those statement credits for travel, and it essentially pays you $5 per year to hold it. But any other card, I've always entertained the thought of using that card, Amex Gold card, Chase Sapphire Preferred, but with the annual fee, I just can't get past the fact that I may not be needing to use that card much. There's a ton of cards that I rotate out for months at a time, and a I don't want to feel like I'm being forced to use a card when I really don't, when I'm not getting value at that point in time from it. Next, Supreme Court takes the case against credit card swipe fees. So the Supreme Court agreed Friday, September 29th, to take up a lawsuit seeking to have the Federal Reserve lower its 12-year-old cap on swipe fees that banks charge merchants to process debit card transactions. The justices accept the case after appellate courts disagreed on whether the 2021 cases was brought too late. The National Retail Federation, which has been advocating for action against the constantly rising swipe fees, welcome the decision. All right. So next, is this the number one biggest risk for both Visa and Mastercard? So it says if retailers who are typically already operating on razor thin margins could find a way to reduce payment related expenses, they probably would. One such retailer that highlights a possible threat to Visa and Mastercard is Target. A lot of people might not have seen this one coming. So the business has a red card debit card that allows shoppers to save 5% on any purchase in store or online every day. This offering is unique because it pulls money directly from customers' um, checking accounts. There's no need to use Visa or MasterCard rails anytime the card is used. And so 2022, January 28th, 20% of Target's 108 billion of overall revenue came from the red card program. Wow, that's a significant amount, guys, which includes credit card products as well. The company doesn't report how much is from just the debit card, but that's not an insignificant sum. If 2% of those red card sales avoid going to the interchange fees, Target could have saved 432 million in that year. And so, you know, this is why I really like the these programs. I think we don't see them enough where you immediately get um, that percentage off. So you basically don't have to, when you're using this red card, you don't have to wait until the next day or until the next month to accumulate those rewards. You just automatically pay less for your purchase. I feel like that's just a higher tier level of saving because you don't have to remember to redeem your rewards. You don't have to wait any sort of period of time. It's all done in the beginning, right from the point of sale. Now you do enter some issues because it is a debit card, so it's going to be deducted from your checking account immediately. So you don't really get um, the benefit of having that extra cash flow for 30 days, 30 to 50 days. And then maybe some of those safeguards that come along with using a credit card don't happen here. But I believe it's the same for their red credit card as well. So if I shopped at Target, I would definitely be on using that red credit card myself. Next, Citi launches buy now pay later option for Costco Anywhere Visa cardholders. So Citi announced that Costco Anywhere Visa card members can now access its buy now pay later option. So Citi Flex Pay, that's what it's called, to pay for purchases. The option allows cardholders can pay over time with a fixed fee, no interest, and the ability to earn cashback rewards. Okay, that's pretty cool. In addition, in an exclusive benefit available to Costco Anywhere Visa card members, they can pay no fees or interest when selecting a 3-month City Flex payout payment plan are eligible purchases made in warehouse or on Costco.com. The announcement said, and so the benefit will also be made available to Costco Anywhere Visa Business card members in the coming months. So we just seeing buy now pay later uh, options and services proliferate throughout the credit card industry. So I really think that this is more of a feature rather than a standalone business. This is what it's looking like because any credit card company we've seen can just add a buy now pay later component to their program, right? We've seen the Apple Card do that recently. A lot of the other players in this segment, Amex has done it. What's going to happen to the Klarnas of the world or the Afterpays of the world? What's going to happen to them when these large credit card issuers eat their lunch and start adding these programs in? I guess you could say that they add the benefit of having the Klarna is that they are at the point of sale and they're more apt to already approve you. So people with like low credit and no credit, it's more available to them, right? So it's a little bit more frictionless from that standpoint. But um, you could say that's a value add there. But we'll see if that's going to stop these buy now pay later companies from you know adding market share. Now, Experian launches credit building digital checking account and debit card. And we talked about this briefly last week. So, Experian has launched the Experian Smart Money, right? Digital checking account and debit card. Listen, this is so common now. We've seen these, I always talk about this. These businesses will just copycat and they'll just say, okay, you're doing this new thing and you're making a little bit of money or you're trying to grab some market share. We're just going to copy you and do our own version and slap our own name on it. See this so much. And so yeah, Experian Smart Money digital checking account and debit card featuring FICO score boosting Experian Boost. So they're adding Experian Boost onto it. The new offering aims to provide consumers with a way to build credit without accumulating debt. By integrating Experian Boost with the Experian Smart Money digital checking account, Experian aims to provide a streamlined financial experience for consumers looking to bolster their credit strength and overall financial health. The offering is particularly beneficial for consumers who are new to credit or looking to improve their credit profile. So, a few things to know here is that Experian Boost is good and it is not good enough in some ways. So, let me explain. Experian Boost basically allows you to um, report your utility payments, your rent payments, anything that you would normally charge to a debit card, you'd be able to allow those to report on your Experian credit report. Now, it's only your Experian credit report, and that's the problem because the good part is that Experian is used by, for my estimation, about 80 to 90% of lenders, particularly credit card issuers. Most issuers are going to be pulling from your Experian credit report. That's the good thing. But some large issuers don't pull from there. They might pull from Equifax or TransUnion. And it really depends on what region you're in. I covered this in my recent newsletter. It sometimes it depends on what region of the country that you're in, and it can also change over time. So you can never be sure that they're going to pull from one particular bureau. And if you're going out for a Capital One card, guess what? They pull all three. So this Experian Boost is not going to help you much if you're just reporting to Experian. So I know they're right now. Experian is doing a deal where they give you like $50 if you direct deposit a certain amount. I think it's 500 or $1,000 within a certain time frame. But they're trying to push they're trying to get their deposits up, and that's how they make money by being able to loan out your money. Next, PayPal and Venmo's debit and credit cards come to Apple Wallet. So long gone are the days when you needed to swipe a physical credit card, with your phone typically being all you need to complete in person transactions. PayPal is finally finally getting on board with the change, announcing that you can now add it and Venmo's credit and debit cards to your Apple Wallet as part of their motivation for the expansion. The company cites a 2022 Morning Consult survey that found 42% of people in the United States have used a mobile wallet. So, listen, that's good for Apple Wallet users. You're getting another integration here. So here it says American Express is bringing back Member Week. Okay, so Member Week is an annual showcase for American Express to demonstrate the perks and benefits that members enjoy on its cards. The event debuted in 2021 and continues to evolve in terms of the offers and unique experiences provided to members. Access to Member Week is reserved for American Express personal, business, and corporate cardholders. However, this year American Express has created a Member Week Pass, which allows potential customers a chance to sample the services that come with an Amex membership. I think that's nice. It's like a trial run for free. That's what it sounds like. The pass includes access to some special events during the member week. So I wonder what that actually entails. Like, how much are you able to trial run? Can you get into the lounges? Can you see the lounge? I'm interested to see how far they take that and what kind of access they really give you. Next, Amex charges their own or changes their welcome offer rules. So this is what they changed. American Express has extended its once in a lifetime rule regarding credit card welcome offers to its gold card. Traditionally, this rule meant customers could only get a welcome offer for a particular card once every 5 to 7 years. Different versions of the Amex Platinum cards were previously seen as separate products, allowing individuals to receive welcome offers for each variant. Now, a person who's had any version of the Platinum card, be it a Consumer Schwab or Morgan Stanley, cannot get a welcome offer for the Gold Card. It's an unexpected move since the Gold Card, with its $250 annual fee and Forex points earning and dining and supermarket categories, serves a different purpose than the Platinum cards and their hefty $695 annual fee. The changes suggest Amex's aims to encourage more premium card uptake while discouraging downgrades. So, listen, Amex is making a ton of changes. Well, I mean, I think that could be a whole video by itself. How many things have they changed? They changed the authorized users. They hiked up the price on that for the platinum. Um, you know, I know they made some other fee changes that I can't recall right now, but this seems like just one more change in a longer line of changes. It seems like they're trying to rein in and really start to kind of pull back and save some money on their card offers. But listen, if you're trying to churn, which is highly, I got to tell you, if you're trying to churn, which means that you're trying to, downgrade and basically game the system, hack the credit card system to get more sign-up bonuses, then they're really trying to heavily discourage that. And even on the back end, on my end, I hear from credit card companies, and it's one of the no, they don't even want you talking about it. I shouldn't even be mentioning it right now. They really don't like that. Credit card companies want you for the long haul. They want you spending money on their card, using it top of wallet, and they want you to be their customer, transacting with their cards for years to come. That's the only way that they are able to recoup the investment that they made in you initially by offering these like lucrative sign-up bonuses. They get that money back over time. They're basically front end, it's like a loss leader for them. And so when you do things like that, when you show that you're going to downgrade to a no annual fee card, or when you're going to, cancel the card, that hurts them. That hurts their bottom line. So they're trying to discourage that as much as possible. Next, Capital One randomly showed me love. This is a post from Reddit, and this kind of echoes what I've seen in different instances from people. And it says, "I wanted to check in and tell you about my recent experience with Capital One. I've had a Capital One card or Capital One cards for about 10 years. It was one of my first cards. This is so similar to like everybody's story. It's one of my first cards when I was building my credit, and I was always in the worst bucket. Then the way I saw it. And if you don't know, a bucket is basically a designation that they give each of their card holders from the moment that they sign up. It's like a snapshot of your credit report, and they'll basically put you in a you know uh, uh, a bad bucket, fair bucket, and an excellent bucket. And what happens when you go into that bad credit bucket is that they'll hit you with a $500 credit limit, and you'll only be relegated to $100 credit limit increases. So he was in a bad bucket. Although I started at a $300 credit limit and moved up to a $6,000 limit, which is more than some others. I mean, I think that's really good, by the way. Some people are stuck at around, you know, $1,500, $2,000. And so he says, I was stuck at that limit and a high interest rate for the better part of 7 years. But last week, when paying my Capital One bill, I decided to try the soft pull credit limit increase for old time's sake. I had no illusions. I had been denied every single time I tried for an increase since 2018. So he had been denied for a credit limit increase for the last 5 years. That's staggering. The last 5 years, nothing. No love from Capital One. So he said, eventually I just stopped bothering and hadn't requested a credit limit increase for those years. So even though I hadn't been spending much on the card in recent years, I rolled the dice and got a $15,000 increase in one shot, one go. He was shocked. Now, I've seen this time and time again. People will say, I randomly got a credit limit increase. And the thing about Capital One is that and I've discussed it at great length in other videos, is that Capital One seems to be putting people in these buckets because they have what they call asset-backed securities. And you might have seen reports of this going on in the student loan industry. They have asset-backed securities in those industries as well. And generally speaking, I'm not like an expert on finance here, but I would generally speaking, what it allows them to do is offload the debts from the credit card users and offload that from their balance sheet. They basically have investors come in and buy that debt on a secondary market as an asset-backed security. And they're able to invest in the credit card is the users credit. If you have a Capital One card and you're making your monthly payments, they're getting um, they're they're getting dividends on that investment on you from paying those monthly fees and your interest payments and so on. And what happens with Capital One is that they're able to get that money infusion. They're able to get additional cash flow. They're able to use that to further invest in their business and to improve their profit margin on that particular like fiscal year. And so here's my assumption. Here's what um my most recent um kind of prediction is what Capital One is doing is that maybe there's some regulations around, are there some really strong restrictions around how Capital One can move somebody between buckets? Maybe they're on some sort of, 2, 3, 4 year timeline where they have to keep you in the bucket that you were started in for this extended period of time. And you can only move from that bucket once that timeline is up. So maybe it's like 4 years. So you're trying and trying to get a credit limit increase. And even though your credit score and your credit profile and your reports are better, they might see it on their end, but they actually can't move you until maybe the date on that asset-backed security is up. That's what I'm thinking is happening here. And then maybe there's some tight restrictions on when they can move people, and maybe it's only after 3, 4, or 5 years. And that's probably why people are seeing just these random jumps for out of nowhere. Their credit scores and their reports have been increased and bettered and they've improved their credit situation. But I this is my guess. Now, I always say the best way to come into Capital One is if you already have a great credit score and a great credit profile. And now why is that? Because if you come into Capital One with a poor credit profile, you're going to be stuck in one of those poor credit buckets. And you're going to be stuck with one of those $500 credit limits. And that card is not going to grow with you. And they're going to offer you a secured card or one of their Quicksilver cards with a $39 annual fee. But here's the thing, If you come into Capital One with an excellent credit score, they're going to treat you like royalty. I'm seeing people, I had former coworkers who got approved for the Venture X at a $30,000 starting limit. $30,000. And listen, they weren't making, boatloads of money. They were making, a middle class wage salary. And so with their premium credit card product, the Venture X, they will give you the sun and the moon. They started a $10,000 limit with that card, and from my experience personally, I've been able to get 6 credit limit increases from upgrading from the Quicksilver to the Venture X. So they don't hold back when it comes to their premium cards. It's only their sub tier, their subprime credit cards, and their lower credit buckets. And we can talk about that more at length after this. So, also, guys, you should know about my master pre approval credit card list. I have a link in the pinned comment on this stream. It's been highly valuable to a lot of people. Once you get to that page, you'll see all the positive comments. People are getting approved for the Venture X when they didn't even know that it was possible. They've been able to get 2 people have gotten pre-approved for the Venture X. One person has gotten recently, just today, pre-approved for the Discover It card. Another person told me that they were pre-approved for, I believe, one of the Chase cards. And so it's just a master list of 48 different credit cards that show you store cards, fintech cards, bank issued, commercial bank cards, and credit union cards that will show your starting limit before approval, or just completely approve you. And they'll pre-approve you with just a soft pull, or if you're dealing with some of the credit builders and the secure cards, they will just fully approve you with no hard credit check, just a soft pull. So definitely check that out in the pin comment if you haven't yet. A lot of people are getting value from it. So I want to see what you guys are talking about here in the comments. A lot of people here. Welcome everybody. We got 76 people here. Yo, hit the like button if you want to see more live streams just like this. If you want to be a part of the community, go and hit the like button for yourself. Cheryl, what's up? How you doing? So I just want to comment right here. Joel Ansman said, I'm sorry, Joe Ansman said, I did boost and my score went down 20 points. Okay. When I saw that, when I glanced at that out of the corner of my eye, I thought you meant up, but you said it went down 20 points. Wow. I don't know why it would go down. I can't even think of a reason why it would go down 20 points unless it reported like a late payment or reported something negative. I'm assuming that you were paying your bills on time. All right. So no said, don't want Capital One's random love. LOL, just show us love. I hear you. I hear you there. Just be straight up. If I'm performing well, if I'm paying my credit card bill on time, if I got a good credit profile, just go ahead. When I ask for a limit increase, just go ahead and increase my limit. Like, don't play games. I definitely understand that. Listen, Capital One is playing games with a lot of folks. It's a lot of people's. Here's a good thing about Capital One. You got to give it to Capital One from this aspect. Capital One will give people with subprime and credit scores and lower level credit scores a chance. They will give them a chance. You can get approved for a Capital One, Quicksilver secured, or one of their just a regular Quicksilver card, usually with just like a mid 600 FICO score, which is good. It's good that it's accessible. And then the problem is that you can't rely on them to grow with you. You basically have to go ahead and venture out to the other credit card issuers, and you should. And I covered in a recent newsletter. Definitely got to join up and get those as soon as possible. Is that it's okay to cancel your oldest credit card, because guess what? In most cases, and a lot of you in the enthusiast credit card community already have built out your system and have multiple credit cards and available credit limits, probably north of $50,000 to $100,000. And so even if you cancel the car and lose that available credit, it's probably just going to be $1,000 that you lost on your available limit, and you have so much other available credit to back that up and still fill out your credit profile. And the thing is that good performance on that payment history, it stays on your credit profile for 10 years. And so during that time, I did the calculations, and I'll probably cover it in a new video soon. Is that that's still factored in and calculated with your credit report and your score for 10 years. So by the time it actually falls off, you've already had other credit cards that's aged up to a point where it doesn't make much of a dent on your credit score. Uh, I'm gonna say Jesus. He says, "What's the most Capital One cards you can have?" So, I believe that the limit right now is around 5. I believe it's around 5. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I believe before, maybe a couple years ago, it was 2, but now it's around 5. And I've seen people have said that it might depend on your your history with Capital One because they can kind of adjust how much credit they want to extend to you and how much a relationship that they want to have with you, based on your performance with them. Okay, we got somebody who closed their cards. Listen, congratulations on getting out of that bad credit card relationship. He says, Rudy Sarah says, yesterday I closed my $500 credit card with Capital One, 5 years with them. Listen, and don't you feel better? I mean, they didn't appreciate the relationship that you had with them. They didn't allow you to increase your limit. You weren't using the card anyway. Doesn't it feel good to just get that off of off the books and off of your mind? Ace Spade said, why would anyone want a Capital One card that gives you a $300 limit and you have to pay annually for the card? Now, the only way that I mean, you wouldn't want that card, but sometimes you have to start there because some of the time maybe you're new to credit or you made the mistake of signing up for it and you actually do need that card reporting good payment history for at least the first few years of your credit card journey. And I believe there was a time when there were far less options when you started out. Now you got a ton of options. I mean, you got all these fintechs coming out with these products that allow you to build credit. Experience coming out with Experian Boost. You got debit cards that allow you to build credit. So there's a lot of new options on the scene, a lot of secure cars that you can get. Discover It comes to mind. Chase just launched the Chase. They got rid of the Chase student card and they basically came out with a Chase Freedom Rise card that's for people that are new to credit. So you don't have to go the Capital One route as much anymore. But I believe back in the day there was less competition on the market. All right, we get Sherry. Listen, Sherry said, Boyd said, I closed my Capital One card with 2 R's. You closed your Capital One card. How old was that your oldest card? How old was it? Just give me some details on that. Congrats on closing that card out. If it wasn't serving you, just go ahead and close it. All right. Rudy Sarah says, $500 lost, but I got 1,200 credit on 2 cards. My flagship. Okay. So you closed the Capital One card, you lost that, but you got to it's $1,200. I'm assuming between 2 Capital One cards, and you said your flagship with Navy Federal is at $8,000 and your Hilton is at 4,000. Congrats on getting those credit limits and those credit limits increased. Nice. Congrats on that. And I just want to shout out, thank you for there's a new member in the community here, Uno. Well, Uno, welcome to the community, by the way. Definitely good to see you joining up. Really appreciate that. All right, Nino. If you guys don't know, Nino is the king of closing down credit cards. I believe he closed down 2 cards in 1 week at some point recently. He says nothing like the feeling of closing a card, making you feel empowered and in control of your domain. I like the way you put that. Listen, you're in control, man. Like who you do business with, who you form a relationship with, you have the ability. It's nice. I will say this: it's nice to have a lot of cards in your deck to be able to make that decision because you know that you have a good credit score. You can get approved for just about any card on the market, or you already have a system built out. So if you drop one that's not treating you right, that's not serving you in today's age, then get rid of them. You know, it's you have the choice, you have the ability, you don't have to do business with them. All right, Sergeant King, what's up? You said, "Hello, Cal. What's a good car to rebuild credit?" Yeah, I would say just if you let's say if you're rebuilding, you would have to go. I would have to go with the Discover It card. Um, you know, now here's the caveat. Some people have their credit is so bad that they can't get approved for a Discover It card. Then in that case, I would go for some of the secured cards with the fintechs because they have been shown to just approve anybody. A good port like the Chime credit builder card is a good one just because they don't they automatically approve you. Some of the other ways to build credit, and I have a list of that. That's actually going to be on the pin comment as well. I would actually go through those 48 cards and see what you're pre-approved for. You might be surprised what you can actually get approved for. And you might not have to rebuild as much as you think. So I would go and see what cards that you really want that you can get pre-approved for if you have any offers showing up for you. And then I would double back and go to some of the credit builders and secure cards. And I would start with the Discover It card uh, as far as rebuilding go. All right, Johnny Jimenez, what's up? By the way, says I'll close cards, especially a card that has an annual fee, and that card isn't beneficial to me anymore, or it cannot offset the annual fee with credits. Listen, you took the words right out of my mouth. That's really good, um, logic to and reasoning to apply there. Um, yeah, the annual fee is one of the biggest reasons why I closed down my Capital One Saver card. It has a $95 annual fee. I definitely didn't see myself using it enough to warrant that annual fee. I really wanted to downgrade to the Saver One card that a lot of people love, but they didn't let me do that. Their Capital One is really strange with their Saver cards. They're very weird for some reason. It's almost like they treat it like a different department, a whole different product. But yeah, that's why I canceled it myself. So I definitely agree with that. Uno says Capital One also does not honor relationship banking. I have a CD, a savings, and a checking. Yeah, that's a lot. I recently got the Saver card, a Saver One, and the starting credit limit was only $10,000. Okay, so I wouldn't say only $10,000 is good. Now, now here's the thing: if your other credit limits are like well above that, if your other credit limits are like 20, 30,000, then yeah, I could see being disappointed. But for most people, a $10,000 limit is a good day. It's a good day. But yeah, most of the commercial banks are not known for their relationship banking. That's really going to be on the credit unions. They're known for, the more data points, the more products that you use, it's going to push up that internal score for the credit unions, but not so much for commercial banks. A Space said, question: what if you owe a lot? Is it possible to get another card with a good limit? You know, that's gonna really wreak havoc on your debt to income ratio, and they can immediately see that. Before you apply for a card, you definitely want at least, 1 or 2 months of reporting showing that you have below a 10% credit utilization rate. The lower the better. You want to be in the single digits. You can get approved, but it's just gonna be much harder. It's really gonna be much harder for you. You want that debt to income ratio. That's one of the main factors that they're gonna be looking at. is payment history, credit utilization. Oh man. Oh, Dino, thank you, sir. He says, awesome stream as usual. Bacon, egg, and cheese in the morning. I you got it. I'm going in for that for the bacon, egg, and cheese. Thank you for the super chat, Nino. Really appreciate you. All right. So Jesus says, I want to get the Venture X card, but I don't travel. So I'm guessing I shouldn't. Doesn't fit my system of getting 5x cash back on everything. Now, here's the thing. Yeah, I would say if you don't travel at all, it's probably not a good buy because if you can find a way to, do a getaway, maybe you want to, rent a hotel, maybe you travel in your state, you can still utilize it like that because you can still book a hotel room, you can still rent a car, so it could come in handy for that. Is listen, as long as that hotel room is at least $400 for your trip, you can get that statement credit just like that, just in one go, and redeem your statement credits that you earn per year just on one trip. It doesn't necessarily need to be a flight. It can even be a hotel or rental car. Listen, this is a really good question. So it says, Artis B says, in terms of relationship banking, how much should you deposit with credit unions and how long to let it sit before going for funding? That's a really good question. Some people get funded. I've seen reports immediately getting funded. Um, here's what I would do. I would go in. I like to reverse engineer what I've already seen banks asking for, their minimum requirements to earn their sign-up bonus. And from what I've seen from banks, they like to put that amount at roughly $200 per month uh, to deposit into your checking account. They like to put the amount at about $200 per month. So I would say at least a couple $100 into the account every single month. Um, you know, is going to be a good amount to direct deposit to earn some favorable points from your bank. Um, and so I would really pay attention to see, okay, what is that particular bank offering as a sign-up bonus? And I at least want to meet that or some other bonus that they've offered in recent history. And that's probably going to be a good indicator as to, as to what's going to meet their minimum threshold for giving you good points, giving you a favorable look. You know what I mean? So that's what I would say. At least $200 per month in direct deposits. But it could be more based on the bank you're dealing with. So just be aware of that. Uno, thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate that. You said awesome work, man. Informative. Thank you, man. I try to be as informative and spread whatever I'm learning at the moment. So I'm happy that you getting some value from it. Ooh, this is gonna be tough. Let me try to read this out. So Michael Bay says, after starting financing a car, should I wait till those inquiries fall off to look into a new car? I'm not really sure on that. That's not really my expertise there. Maybe somebody in the comments has already answered that. I'm not sure on that front. Sorry about that. Sherry Boyd said, when I closed the Capital One card, I went to a credit union, got approved for $25,000. Listen, it's like that. It really is like that. I know PenFed gives out high limits. PSECU gives out crazy high limits. Navy Federal, of course, gives out super high limits. They just give out the whole. They just say, "Hey, whatever the max limit of the card is?" They pretty much just give you that up front. All the commercial banks make you work for it. They're like, "Listen, we're going to start you super low, and then we're going to make you work for it over a period of years." But that's really it's like night and day, honestly. All right, Ace of Spade. I didn't see this before. Ace Spade said, "Is 608 a good credit score?" No, it's not good. It's not a good score. Um, I believe that's going to be fair. That's going to be a fair score, but it's not good. It can definitely be a lot better. 608. So let's. I'm not sure if this is an honest score, but let's just say hypothetically, if you wanted to get a credit card with a 608, what cards could you get approved for? Automatically, Apple Card, because they've already stated their minimum score is 600. I'll be looking at a Discover It card. Potentially Discover, you might get a full unsecured Discover It card at a 608. Quicksilver card, that's probably going to be another one that you might get approved for. I would definitely go ahead and go if you do actually have a 608, hit the link, pin comment in the description in this chat. See what cars you get pre-approved for. You might be surprised. Sometimes you never know what your credit profile. You might be able to punch above your weight, and your score doesn't tell the whole picture, and you can actually get approved for some of these other higher tier cards. But typically, at a 608, you're going to be looking at some sort of credit builder, some sort of secure card, and some of those lower tier. I remember I had a lower 600 score and I got approved for an Amazon store card. But that's like that's a basically a store card, and they're not really looked at in the same light as standard commercial unsecured cards. All right. F Davis. Wow, I'm feeling the love this tonight, guys. Thank you so much. You said, great stream as always, sir, but I still am in the Capital One bucket. $300 credit limit for 8 years and counting. Wow, my goodness. I'm sorry to hear that, F Davis. So sorry to hear that. And listen, this other person was in the bucket for over 10 years. So there still is hope. If you want to keep that card alive and you want to keep it in a sock drawer, at some point in time, you might be able to increase your limit. And this really goes to show you that you should still continue to try to increase your limit. You never know when they move you into a new bucket, and you have to basically push the issue and apply for the credit limit increase. So I think you just need to start requesting maybe less frequently, maybe every 6 months, twice a year. And who knows, in the next year or two, you might be able to get a multi-thousand-dollar credit limit increase on that account. Danny boy, another super chat just hit. Thank you, Danny. You said following the trend of $10. Cal, love you. Sorry, guys. Okay, I actually hit the mute switch. So I was saying, Artis, congratulations on getting the upgrade from the Capital One Platinum card to the Saver One with just a phone call. And you said you started at a $500 credit secure card and you got upgraded to a $3,500 credit limit. That's a massive increase. I think that's a sign that you're able to, continue building on that. And you might want to pair that up with a Venture X. A lot of people really like the combo of the Venture X card with the Saver One card because you're able to hit so many bonus categories with that tandem, and it's a simple setup as well, you know? And Danny, I don't know if I was muted, I just wanna say thank you for the super chat as well if you didn't hear me before. All right, Cheryl, what's up, Cheryl? You said that my Capital One cards are few of my oldest. A few years ago, they were increased. Now my highest credit cards, but good enough. Yeah. So a lot of people have had these cards, these Capital One cards for north of 20 years. And there's, some of them are in a bucket or with marginal increases. Capital One, unfortunately, they highly rely on their algorithm. They're known as a tech company. They're the most techy of all the different credit card issuers, and there's really no reconsideration when it comes to Capital One. Whatever the computer says is what they offer. And this is so much of so many reports and stories on this is that everybody's having very similar experiences. So don't feel like you're alone. Capital One is doing this to a lot of people, just holding them back. Now, I just want to say, if you haven't tried yet, so Pixel said call Capital One to request the upgrade for my Platinum, but they said no upgrade product change now at the moment. Now, have you tried using their dedicated product landing page? I found reports from people saying that they did just what you did and called in, and they got denied a product change. But then when they used the landing page, they actually were able to upgrade on their own. And, listen, it's beyond me what's happening with these systems, but it seems like these different landing pages are accessing a slightly different algorithm, or they have different requirements because, and I have that in the 48 cards list as well. So if you haven't yet, go ahead and check that out. Product change link in that list of pre-approvals that I have linked below. All right. So Capital One. Yeah, this is a really good point. Says at least Capital One does not close your cards out of the blue like some credit card issuers, also known as Synchrony Bank. Yes, Capital One will leave you open. I haven't even thought about that, but that is a really good point because Synchrony Bank, Community Bank, I've even seen FNBO, a numerous different credit card issuers are really trigger happy to cancel your account due to non-activity. And so generally, rule of thumb says that you want to at least put a small charge on your credit cards once every 6 months, at least every year, because you're liable to have that card closed. Discover has done this to me in the past, and so Synchrony is really known for that. They will close you out, and sometimes they're really, I would say, their fraud algorithms and their fraud the triggers for those algorithms tend to be sensitive, and so if they see some sort of weird transactions going on or some sort of activity they don't like, they're really with Synchrony in particular, they will like decrease your limit or just close your accounts altogether. And Capital One they'll leave you your $300 credit limit the same for years and years. Pink Polo, the biggest super chat yet. Wow, you really outdid yourself, Pink Polo. Thank you, Pink Polo. You said I got a $8,400 credit limit increase with my Chase Sapphire last week, 13,005 to 21,900. They should have just pushed you up to 22, right? But big congrats to getting that increase on your Chase Sapphire card. You deserve it. And is that your highest credit limit? Just let me know in the comments. Is that your highest limit right now? That's right. Starbucks drinks. Yeah, we moved up to this to Starbucks, top tier. We getting the largest size at Starbucks with that donation. Really appreciate that, Pink Polo. Listen, I'm glad that you brought up the Chase 524 rule here. I really want to comment on this. So Uno says, and speaking of the Chase 524 rule, I so have a problem with that rule. I don't usually get cards just for bonus points. So why am I penalized to fill card slots? Yeah, that's a really kind of that rule is very stringent, it's really strict. I recently fell under 524 status, so I was able to get approved for the business card for their Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card, which I was very happy about because it comes with that $900 sign up bonus at this point in time. But that 524 rule stops so many people from getting into the Chase ecosystem. It stopped me from getting my second Chase card for many years as I started to build out my credit card lineup, and I was experimenting with different banks and credit unions and fintechs, and just enjoying the different flavors and the different award systems and how the benefits that comes with each card. But Chase is like, listen, as soon as you sign up for over four cards, we don't want anything to do with you, and it just kind of sucks that that is the case. Matt Clausen said, "I'll take Chase's 524 rule over pop up purgatory." So if you don't not if you're not aware of pop up jail or pop up purgatory, I love that name, Matt, that you call it there. Is that when Amex will kind of due to a system glitch or some sort of new strict requirements that they're doing behind the scene, they'll basically disallow you from getting a sign up bonus, even if you never had one of the cards. Even if you never had one of their cards before, or even the cards in the same product family, and so people have been really kind of confused as to why they're not eligible for these sign up bonuses from Amex, and they've been falling into this pop up purgatory, as Matt is talking about. Yeah, that's tough. There's no real answers to that. Oh, Cheryl, listen, you did really outdone yourself, Cheryl. Thank you for the super chat. This is a record night. I don't even, I'm kind of speechless right now. This is great. You said awesome session. Thank you, Cheryl. Um, I'm glad that we're able to get so many questions answered tonight. Yeah, Ryan said, "How do you get off the Amex blacklist?" That's that's a little tougher, Ryan, because usually people have reported staying on the blacklist for north of 10 years, and it's tough to say when you'll actually be able to get off. The only way to really know if you're off the list is you could go again with one of those pre-approval links. You can get to the Amex cards, and they have something called Amex Apply with Confidence, and you can basically apply for any of their cards, and they will show you that you're fully pre-approved and pretty much 100% a sure thing to go in and accept that credit card offer. That's the only thing that I could say on that front, is that you can at least apply for the card without a hard pull. But getting off the blacklist, I haven't seen any reports of a surefire way of getting off that list. Yeah, so this is listen, this is an easy one. Listen, I love getting questions like this because this is one I've seen so many times. Soup says, "Does being put on as an authorized user count towards the 524 rule?" Yes, it does. It does count towards the 524 rule. I know it seems like it shouldn't, but it does because guess what? They have something called credit card piggybacking, and I've done this with my wife recently. All of my recent cards, added her on as a user. And what happens there is that the authorized user gets to benefit from all of your positive payment history. Payment history counts as 35% of your credit score. So it's the largest factor. And what I've seen is that it has a really large impact on that credit score. So that's a real hack that a lot of people don't really talk about. And I cover this in my credit repair course. That's a free course. You can find it on my website. I don't have it, it should be linked in the description here. You can sign up for the free credit repair course to get access to that. But you can you can just have a family member with great credit and good habits. They can add you as an authorized user to basically all their cards, and now you're benefiting from the payment history on many different cards, and your available credit limit just shoots up through the roof if they have tens of thousands in available credit there. But listen, everybody, it's getting late. I do this every Sunday at 7 p.m. I'll be back next Sunday at 7 p.m. like usual. And everybody have a great week and a good night, okay?